TikTok doesn't ask what you want to watch. It watches you. With just a few swipes. It knows if you're lonely, anxious, restless, or just bored. It can show you joy or trap you in fear. It can offer a new identity or reinforce the one you're trying to escape. And it does this without saying a word. For most people, it's just short videos. But to the companies and governments watching from the outside. It's single quotes, something else entirely. Real-time map of human attention. Remote control for behavior. This isn't a story about an app. It's about the algorithm that owns your time, your choices, and maybe your future. It starts with a swipe. Just one. A video appears. Funny, surprising, oddly specific. You smile. You swipe again. Minutes pass. Then hours. You went in for 5 minutes. And came out an hour later. Not quite sure what you just watched. Only that you couldn't stop. This isn't coincidence. TikTok wasn't designed to connect you to your friends. It was designed to capture your attention. And it's doing it better than anything ever built. Unlike older social media, TikTok doesn't care who you follow. It doesn't wait for you to tell it what you like. It watches. It tests. Then it delivers. Fast. I thought I was just gonna check one video before bed. Next thing I knew, it was 2 a.m. I'd watched. I don't even know how many. This is not rare. This is the norm. TikTok videos fill the screen. No buttons, no menus, no interruptions. Each video takes over your full attention, visually, emotionally, sonically. There is no play button. No pause. Just swipe or stay. It's a design of pure immersion. A former user experience designer put it simply. It's not just good design. It's persuasive design. It uses what we know about human psychology to hold attention as long as possible. Psychologists call it variable reward. Like a slot machine, most swipes give you nothing. But every so often, one hits. That perfect video. That laugh. That spark of recognition. Your brain lights up. Dopamine. Again. And again. And again. I used to read before bed. Now I scroll. I forget what I came for. But I can't look away. TikTok perfected the loop. The For You page doesn't ask you to choose. It chooses for you. And it learns faster than you think. I got stuck on cooking videos for a week. Then it was ADHD content. Then breakups. It knew I was feeling alone. Before I did. I never searched for any of this. But it found me. It found what makes you stay. What makes you react. What makes you vulnerable. So the question is this just entertaining technology? Or is it designed addiction? Engineered engagement? Or engineered dependence? What happens when a product is designed, not to be used, but to be hard to stop using? You don't choose what's on your For You page. It chooses you. And it doesn't need weeks or months to figure you out. It only needs seconds. Every pause, every swipe, every rewatch is a signal. You're not just watching TikTok. TikTok is watching you. It tracks how long you watch each video. Did you replay it? Did you skip it quickly? Did you pause? Did you save it, share it, or just stare at it a little longer than usual? All of that, every flicker of attention, is data. And data is what feeds the machine. You may think you're just watching a cat video. But in the background, you're being tested. You're part of an experiment. Right now, every time you scroll, 2 versions of a video are sent to 2 small groups. Which one performs better? Which one gets longer watch time? More rewatches? The algorithm keeps score, silently, instantly, and without asking. And once it knows what works, it sends it everywhere. You may never like a video. You may never comment. But if you watch it to the end, even once, that's a vote. And the algorithm is always counting votes. Likes are visible. Watch time is invisible. But it's far more powerful. A video you watch twice, without pressing anything, matters more than 10 videos you hearted and skipped. Because in this system, Your behavior speaks louder than your words, and behavior is what it uses to build your profile, not your public profile. Your psychological profile. Quietly in the background, it begins to segment you. Are you romantic? Angry? Lonely? Obsessive? Do you respond more to fitness videos or conspiracy theories? Do you pause on perfect skin? Or on political rage? The algorithm isn't just learning what you like, it's learning who you are, or who you might be. And it doesn't need to ask. It just watches. Every millisecond of attention becomes a thread. Those threads form a pattern, and the pattern becomes a prediction. Soon, you're not just watching content. You're being sorted into categories you don't even know exist. You didn't sign up for this test, but you're in it. TikTok doesn't just show you the world, it shows you a version of the world crafted for your most reactive self, not your best self, not your real self, your most clickable self. And here's the twist. You never see the test happening. You never know why a video appears. You never know who didn't get to see it. You never know what version you were given or why. All you know is it feels made for you, but maybe it was made to shape you. So the question is the algorithm entertaining you? Or is it classifying you? Is it giving you content? Or is it placing you in a box? You open the app. You scroll. You stop. You feel something. Not always joy. Not always fun. Sometimes it's a strange ache, jealousy, anger, shame, hunger, but it keeps you there. And that's the point. This isn't just a video feed. This is a psychology engine built to interact with the deepest parts of your brain, especially if your brain is still growing. TikTok is not the first platform to reward attention, but it's the first to make attention feel like oxygen for teenagers, the most neurologically vulnerable audience. That's not just addictive. It's transformative. The human isn't isn't fully developed until your mid-20s. And the part that develops last is the one that controls long-term thinking, impulse control, and emotional regulation. Before that, the brain is like wet cement. Every impression leaves a mark. And TikTok knows how to leave a mark. Every swipe is a chance to release dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure, anticipation, and craving. But the reward isn't constant. It's intermittent, unpredictable. This is called the variable reward system. It's the same principle that drives slot machines in Vegas. Most content. It's forgettable, filler, noise. But then, one video hits. It makes you laugh, cry, relate, react. And your brain says, do that again. It's not a conscious decision. It's chemical. The randomness of the reward makes the pursuit more intense. Your brain is trained to chase the next dopamine spike, not to enjoy the last one. That's why you scroll at one. That's why a 15-second video can hold your focus better than a 2-hour movie, because this machine isn't just feeding your attention. It's training it. TikTok doesn't just shorten the attention span. It reprograms it. It teaches the brain that if something doesn't entertain or provoke you in 3 seconds, it's worthless. That expectation starts to bleed into everything else. Books, conversations, classrooms, relationships. Why focus when you can swipe? Why wait when something better is one flick away? Now imagine you're 13, or 15, or 17. Your sense of identity is still forming. You're learning what to care about, who to become, how to feel about yourself. And TikTok has opinions. It shows you what beauty looks like, what success looks like, what bodies, faces, skin, fashion, emotions are worth being seen. You're exposed to filters, trends, glow-ups, body checks, what I eat in a day challenges, not once or twice, but thousands of times. Some of it's subtle, some of it's not. A teenager sees hundreds of images per day of surgically perfected faces, AI smooth skin, digitally flattened stomachs. They begin to wonder, is that how I should look? Is that why I didn't go viral? Is that why I feel invisible? You can't mute that voice. Because that voice is the algorithm. It learns your insecurities. It identifies the gaps in your confidence. Then feeds them back to you, not to hurt you. To keep you watching. Because discomfort is a powerful form of engagement. And the algorithm doesn't care why you stop to look at something. It only cares that you do. Many teens report that they feel worse about themselves after using TikTok, but they still can't stop. Not because they're weak, but because they're up against something deliberately engineered to bypass resistance. This is not accidental. This is design. TikTok's structure rewards creators who grab attention in seconds and offer instant stimulation, often by exaggerating emotions, flaunting perfection, or revealing personal trauma. Young creators learn what gets views, and once they know, they often feel pressured to stay in that lane, even if it drains them. You see teens acting like caricatures of themselves. More dramatic, more broken, more beautiful, more extreme. Why? Because the algorithm says that's what works. Now zoom out. Across millions of users, the app begins to shape patterns of identity. What you see every day becomes what you think is normal, what you think is expected, what you think you should become. The result? A generation that grows up being told who they are, not by their families, friends, teachers, or communities, but by a machine that sees them as a data point, a viewer segment, a watch time pattern. And once the machine learns what makes you feel insecure, it can sell you the solution. More skincare, more diets, more motivational quotes, more productivity hacks. More content about fixing what you're not, instead of appreciating what you are. And if you stop engaging, it adapts. It tests something new. It finds another opening. Because the algorithm never sleeps, and it never forgets. Even if you delete your history, change your likes, try to reset your feed, the system still has your signals, still remembers your hesitation, your pauses, your weakness, and it will find its way back in. So the question is, where does entertainment end and mental erosion begin? Is this just distraction? Or is this a slow dismantling of focus, confidence, and control? The app doesn't need you to be happy. It just needs you to keep scrolling. And that's the most dangerous reward of all. Most people think of TikTok as a stage, but it's also a control room. Every video you see or never see is the result of a decision. But who makes that decision? And who benefits from it? TikTok's algorithm doesn't just suggest content. It curates narratives. It decides what becomes a trend and what disappears in silence. You don't vote. You don't choose. You just scroll through what's been selected for you, and that selection is not neutral. It can amplify a message or bury it. It can give a platform to a voice or erase it without explanation. This is called content moderation, but in practice, it's something else. Information control. The platform has the power to shadow ban creators, reducing their visibility without informing them. It can flag, suppress, or delay specific topics. It can decide that a video doesn't violate guidelines, yet still make sure almost no one sees it. And it doesn't have to tell you why. For everyday users, this is frustrating. For creators, it can feel like psychological warfare. Imagine building an audience over years, and then, overnight, your views drop by 90%. No warning. No explanation. Just silence. This isn't hypothetical. It's reality for thousands of creators. They call it algorithm punishment. Sometimes it happens after mentioning sensitive topics. Sometimes after using certain HTS. Sometimes for no clear reason at all. That's the point. The rules are vague. The enforcement is invisible. And the power is entirely one-sided. Now take that power and imagine what it means in the hands of a global company. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese technology firm. While the company has said its international operations are independent, the truth is far more complex. In China, The state has extraordinary authority over private companies. Under Chinese law, companies must cooperate with government requests for data or content control, even if those requests remain secret. And while TikTok is not available inside mainland China, its infrastructure, engineers, and strategic leadership remain deeply connected to its origin. So the question arises, can an app designed for viral dances and funny videos also function as a tool of soft power? Consider this. What happens when a political protest video is quietly removed or never goes viral in the first place? What happens when the algorithm promotes nationalist content in one country and suppresses it in another? What happens when a platform can shape public perception without ever appearing to interfere? That's influence. That's geopolitical leverage, and it's mostly invisible. In recent years, multiple reports have surfaced that TikTok suppressed content related to human rights, political dissent, and controversial global events. Videos about protests, government criticism, or ethnic tensions have quietly vanished from user feeds or never gained traction, despite high engagement. In contrast, trivial or commercial content spreads, easily reinforcing the idea that the platform is just for fun. But that's exactly how influence works best, when it doesn't feel like influence at all. When it comes wrapped in entertainment, in memes and makeup tutorials, in viral sounds, the algorithm doesn't push propaganda with flags and slogans. It pushes repetition, subtle absences, tiny nudges. If you don't see something, it's as if it never happened. That's not censorship by force. That's censorship by omission. And it's far harder to detect or fight. Meanwhile, TikTok gathers the one resource more valuable than money: attention. Attention is power. Because attention can be monetized, redirected, or manipulated. Every second you spend on the app produces data, not just about what you like, but about who you are, what you feel, what you fear. This behavioral data can then be used to target ads? Yes, but also to influence belief. To adjust mood. To shape how you interpret the world. And for advertisers, brands, and governments alike, that's gold. A global map of real-time emotions and behaviors. Think about that. While you swipe, they analyze. While you laugh, they measure. While you argue in the comments, they profile. And somewhere, someone decides what shows up next. Not based on truth, not based on ethics. Based on what serves their interests. This level of power, algorithmic, unregulated, and opaque, is unprecedented, even compared to other tech giants. TikTok is unique in how aggressively it adapts in real time. Its algorithm can detect trending terms and redirect the conversation within minutes. It can elevate or demote topics dynamically, invisibly, at scale, and there is no external oversight. No democratic accountability. In most countries, platforms like TikTok are governed by loose terms of service and vague content policies, written by the company, enforced by the company. There is no appeals court. No citizen voice, and that raises a final, chilling question. What happens when the dominant storytelling platform in the world is also the least transparent? When the feed that billions of people open every day is shaped by interests they will never see. This isn't science fiction. This is already happening, and it's not just a question of content. It's a question of power. Who gets heard? Who gets erased? Who decides? Every second you spend on TikTok, you give something away. It's not money. Not directly. It's time. And time is the one thing you can't get back. For many users, the app is just entertainment, a way to unwind, a harmless habit. But is it? What do you lose when you spend 2 hours a day in a loop you didn't design? What could you have built, written, learned, felt, or experienced in that time? This isn't a philosophical question. It's a mathematical one. Millions of people spend hours per day on the app. Multiply that across months, years, generations, and what you get is a staggering amount of lost life, not lost to disaster, not lost to crisis. Lost to an algorithm that keeps you watching, not because it cares, but because it profits. And while you scroll, someone else gains. The platform learns more. The system grows stronger. The data becomes richer, and the ads become more effective. This is the economy of distraction. It doesn't ask you to buy anything. Not at first. It just needs you to stay. Because every second you're watching, the algorithm is learning. And every time it learns, it becomes harder to walk away. That's the cycle. You watch. It learns. It learns. You watch. It feels effortless. But it's not free. The real cost isn't measured in money. It's measured in attention, in self-perception, in opportunity. Let's talk about creators. For the people making content, TikTok seems like a dream. Anyone can go viral. Anyone can grow a following. Anyone can become something. But here's what most don't see. Going viral once means nothing. You have to do it again. And again. And again. Because the moment you stop performing, the algorithm forgets you. Creators live in a state of constant anxiety, always checking analytics, always testing formats, always fearing the drop. Many creators describe it like a game they can't quit. Because if they stop posting, they lose everything. And the game has no rules. 1 week, you're on top. The next, your reach collapses. You weren't punished. You weren't warned. You were simply no longer useful. Burnout is common. Creative exhaustion is normal. Some creators stay up all night editing. Some film 10 takes to get the first 3 seconds. Right. Some feel pressured to share personal trauma. Because pain performs better. They're not making content. They're feeding a machine. And the machine is always hungry. Now let's return to the user. You don't make content. You just watch. But your time is still currency because while you're there, you're not somewhere else. You're not with friends. You're not outside. You're not building anything. You're not resting. You're consuming. And what you consume shapes you. It shapes how you think, how you feel, how you compare, how you judge yourself and others. It defines what you believe is normal. It slowly rewires your sense of satisfaction, making everything outside the feed feel slower, duller, less stimulating. And once the real world feels boring, the app wins. This is the hidden cost. A gradual erosion of focus, creativity, patience, confidence, and presence. What you lose isn't always obvious, but over time it adds up. Lost time, lost clarity, lost self-trust, and who wins? The platform. The more you watch, the more data it gathers. The more data it gathers, the smarter it becomes. The smarter it becomes, the more irresistible it feels. You watch. It learns. It learns. You watch. It's a perfect loop. A system designed not to make you better, but to make you stay. And once you see it that way, you start asking different questions. Who controls what I see? Who profits from my distraction? What am I trading for this moment of entertainment? And what if the real cost is me? This documentary isn't here to tell you to delete your account. It's not a moral panic. It's not fear-mongering. It's just a mirror, a reminder that this isn't just about an app. It's about the most valuable resource you have, your attention. So the next time you swipe, ask yourself, who's really watching who?